Now I'm streaming. Okay. Well, we're gonna wait. I know we're gonna wait for people. They'll come. People will come because if you subscribe, it sends you an email, I believe. So we'll wait for a second for people to get the email. You got to stay in the chat room, Sean, and answer all their questions. Make an account. What are people going to think when some of our developers don't even have Twitch accounts? They can't take us seriously. Yeah, I know. I need to turn this way up. Oh, yeah. Now I think they can hear me. Hello, everyone. If you're joining us soon, this is recording, so if you are going to watch this on YouTube, hello to you. We've got some stuff prepared for you today. Should be good. Should be fun. I'm actually going to load up this. Where am I? Twitch. Okay, I should be up and running. I got my webcam on live. Oh, yeah, I look good. Okay. Nobody's joined yet, though. That's all right, though, because it's recording, so even if nobody joins, there was a lot of people that wanted to watch it. All right, so let me see here. Okay. I was going to open up this. We'll give people a few more minutes.
There's one guy in here saying 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Lord Jamex. I don't know if I know that guy. Do we know that guy from the forums? Lord Jamex, do we know you? We might know him. I'll say hello to you. Anyway. Hopefully, we can get this thing going pretty soon.
Oh, way to go, Twitch.
Oh, yeah. We know JPZ. You're in our forums. We talked to you, I think. I think we know him. Anyway, well, since we got somebody here, might as well be entertaining. We're going to start today by opening up one of our old builds of the game. And when I mean old, I mean this is a build you guys probably haven't even seen. Some of you have if you've been following our development from early on. But we will see here. So I'm going to load it up. This is an old version. Let's check it out. I got to log in to my thing. That's not my username. I'm going to do it over here so you guys can't see it. Should work. Load it up. Hopefully it loads up. This build was what? Before we had an artist working with us, before we had anything, it was just about 3 of us who were programmers. Here it is. And this is what we had to work with. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on here. Oh, it looks like a few more people have joined. So anyway, welcome guys. We're going to talk a little bit about it. I just wanted to show you guys kind of how far we came and some of the things developmentally that we've gone through. So we've been in development of this game for about, I don't know, how long we've been developing this? Maybe since, I don't know, 2012. So maybe 2 years, probably not quite that long. And this was like the first edition of the game that we distributed to people, and we distributed it through a torrent client. And I don't even know if very many people got it. And the people that did, maybe some of you got it, but if you did, this is what our game used to look like. As you can see, it's beautiful. The lighting is so bad. And since it's nighttime, the lighting is actually doing us favors. You'll see it's pretty funny, but we actually, this is still the inventory that we have, though. You actually can get money and everything. So this game, you know, it was the beginnings of our game. We even had, you know, you could hit stuff. The armor is still the same, so some of the stuff has actually survived. Anyway, just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a tour. Here's our old town, and like it's all still here, so you can even open doors, walk inside. It's so beautiful. This looks ugly, real ugly, but it was a full-featured game. Like I said, you got like stuff. I can equip this, all my equipment. Let's do this. There's a guy right here. Let's go own him. And we'll talk a little bit about some of our development. So you see, one of the things that we did that I think I remember other people liked it, was you can see their names change colors when you damage them. And so we kind of have removed some of the spam on like the UI for having health bars above everybody. And basically, the darker that their name gets towards red, the they are dead. So, and that thing where it turns into ice over my head, over my screen, you guys probably can't even hear. Okay, maybe my microphone's better. I don't know if you guys can hear me now. But anyway, that old, or that, when my screen turns to ice like that, that means he stunned me. And he stunned me by riposting me. So that functionality was in there. But anyway, so we had his name draw out. We still actually have that feature. We're going to keep that one. We liked it. But it drops stuff. My favorite thing about this, though, is the animations are so good, because when you run, you just go faster. You don't actually run. There's not an animation for that, so it's pretty good stuff. Yeah, I should be talking a lot louder now. Sorry about that. Hopefully I have my microphone maxed. It's not very good. I'll just put the microphone really close to my face. Hopefully that's better. If not, you guys can tell me in a few seconds when the stream catches up. Anyway, here's another thing that we pointed out. So, like, we got an artist when we started our Kickstarter that did not succeed. But if you guys were there for our Kickstarter, thank you for supporting us. Even though we didn't succeed, we still developed anyway, even though we didn't have any money. And we did this for free, so thank you. But as soon as we started that, we actually got one of our artists. That's when we got an artist. We only have one artist, and he's actually in the chat. Sean O'Connor is his name. And he's the one talking. So if you guys have any art-related questions, you can ask him in the chat, and he will answer you. So anyway, when we got it, he looked at this island. He was probably like just so appalled by it. I'm sure he was, because it's so bad. Like, the lighting is so flat. Right now it looks okay, but the terrain is so flat. I mean, it doesn't even look like the same game, even though a lot of the functionality is still here. But the thing is this is the same island. Right over there, that house right over there, that's where like the town is. That's like where the town hall is. And this bay right here is still the same bay. He just took it and added like a whole bunch of vertical space. And we weren't artists. We still aren't artists, but he is, and took it to a whole new level. So this game is actually really funny. We had to kind of dig this out of some old, like, just some old files that we had, and it's been really fun to play it and to look at it. But yeah, this was our town. This is like an area of the town, and this guy was a weapons dealer, and he's actually in there. And as programmers, this, like I said, we'd only been working on this game for a little while, but this actually works. You can sell stuff to him and actually get money. It's surprising. His prices are exorbitant, though. Oh, I can buy this longsword for $60. I'm gonna dual wield. So anyway, pretty funny stuff. The textures look so bad. Like, I can't even, now that I know better, this game is awful to look at. But we did our best, and it got us, you know, a little bit of attention anyway, probably more than we deserved. But as we'll go and show you, we're gonna go next into the game as it is on Steam right now and talk a little bit about it. But sorry, I was just reading the chat just reading the chat to see if anyone wants to say anything. But a lot of the foliage that you see here is actually the same foliage that's out on Steam and even in our new version, but it's just been overhauled so much by our artists that it looks a lot better. And gameplay, like, as sad as it is, gameplay is pretty similar on the Steam version right now to as it is in this version. So the Steam version was kind of actually the same game as this, but with a huge gameplay, or not a gameplay overhaul, a huge artistic overhaul. And that's going to be the biggest feature. But we just kind of wanted to go and show you this, and, you know, show you, like, another thing is there was one rock. This whole island was modeled with a single rock mesh. That's all the same rock, just scaled and rotated differently. Yeah, I think we actually bought that from a site that just sells, like, assets that you can buy that are already textured and already ready to go in the engine. But anyway, another thing about this version that was also good was that the progression through this was pretty good. So the guys that you fought got harder at a pretty good pace. And so like if you fought your way across the island and got better at it, then by the time you got back to the first of the island and you got all the equipment and stuff, by the time you got back to the first of the island, you would actually be a lot tougher. Like it had a pretty good progression, RPG progression to it. This is actually also back when like these weapons and stuff dropped out of their hands, and if you die actually in this version, it drops out of your hands and you like lose your weapons, so it's pretty funny. But anyway, I don't even know what that mesh is. I don't think that's supposed to be there. I think that's a bug. That's just like a circle, like it's like a ball with like shingles on it. I don't know where that came from. There's actually a lot of funny bugs in this area. Like if you can break the animation graph like I just barely did. I'm just like hover, propelling myself across the ground. And when you turn, you like, yeah. Anyway, there was a lot of funny things. We've come a long way, but this is originally just kind of wanted to show you guys how funny it was. Like I said, old version, but it's still there, and it reminds us of our roots. So, yeah, some of you guys are saying graphics aren't everything, and that's actually true. We actually did attract some people with this version. But anyway, not only did we have gameplay improvements in our Steam version, but we had significant graphic improvements. So I'm actually going to go check that out right now. But if you guys have any questions about that version or anything, we will answer them. Okay, let's open up the Steam version. So this is the version that you guys have been playing all along, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things in this. Oh, I think wait, did my stream die? Hold on. You may be able to still see me. Oh, yes, you can. All right. Sometimes it dies, and it does so without warning, so I got to make sure. Another problem with this version is it took a long time to load, something we also have improved. The loading times are improved in our new version, and I shouldn't have to wait for all of this. I mean, I have a pretty good computer, and not really getting any good load time out of this at all. So we'll just sit here and silently watch this spinning triangle box reflect on our lives. This was actually the first commercial distribution of the game we had. That other version of the game that I just showed you, you actually had to sign up for a CryDev account. So you had to go to crydev.com, sign up for an account in order to even play that game. And then we got a license from Crytek to actually distribute their game in an engine or in a launcher. It's called a launcher. That's what they call it. That's their term. But we had to get a license from them. So this was like the first version of our game that you had to have a license. So anyway, here's the current version of our game. As you can see, visually, so much better. We have way more vertical space. The I just don't even know where to begin. The town is so much more interesting. There's more houses. There's people around. Like you can actually talk to people. This was meant to be a girl. That's why their name was Lyeth. But we didn't have a girl model in. That's another problem that we had. We do have one now. We'll have to show her to you. I think we can find a way to show her to you. Here's an axe. But like these people actually... so here's another thing. We were about like... Oh, I don't know. I guess it was about 4 or 5 months ago when we decided to stop updating this version and only update the new version of our game. We actually had more features implemented than I think is out. So I'm actually playing a newer version of this game, but it was untested, so we never did push it out to Steam. But this right here, for instance, is like a new chest. I don't think you guys have this. This is like a new chest model with an animation. And this is permanent storage. We were talking about how we needed to have permanent storage. That's what this is. You could like store things in here and it gets saved out. This is like a guy. He's one of the elders. We have a lot more done on the storyline too. But if you talk to these people, they start to develop the storyline for you. Hold on. There's some more going on in the chat. I got to move some windows over here. It says... So it says, voices or text after the update. We will have still have text after the update. We want to do voice acting in our game, but one of the things that we've talked about before is that there are only 3 of us right now developing the game. There's 2 programmers, myself, another programmer named Brian. I don't know if he's on Twitch chat right now. He's not. He's actually he's working on it. His name's probably CuzBP in there. If you have any questions for him, you can make sure to ask him any programming questions you have. But there's myself and him, and we're the programmers. He's our lead programmer. He does like the hardcore engine programming. He's our combat programmer, AI programmer, and I do a lot of the just other systems, like I don't know. I'm just general programming too, I guess, but he does the hardcore engine stuff, and I just do the general stuff. So anyway, there's just those 2, and then Sean, who I've already told you guys about. It's just the 3 of us, and they're actually sitting behind me. Maybe later I'll show you. I'll point the camera around and show you guys where we work. But anyway, so with just the 3 of us, I don't remember what I was saying. Anyway, there's only 3 of us, and we've come a long way. But anyway, this is the incarnation of the game that you guys are playing right now, and I wanted to kind of give you guys a tour of the town to remind you of what it looks like. So this coastline, like I was saying, that little outcropping right there, that's where the like between me and that outcropping is where the current like entrance, or in that old island that I show you, that was where those 2 big rocks were like stationed. But now the town's been expanded and improved greatly. So we've got a couple more questions. It says, how long have you been programming for? Oh yeah, he's answering your question. I've been programming for less time than our other programmer has. I've been programming just in college. I went to college to become a computer scientist. We graduated at the beginning of, well, I graduated back in December, and we both just like walked graduation this year. So I guess technically I graduated in 2013. But so I've been programming since like 4 years before that. And anyway, so one thing I wanted to show you is this is kind of where the weapons dealer is now in this thing, and he's back in and he works and everything. You can steal all his stuff. We don't have a crime system yet, but we will. But yeah, the town is just so much better than the old version. I mean, there's people in it. There are things to do. There's barrels that are stacked upon one another. I want to show you guys the interiors. This is kind of the way our interiors looked. They look so much better in this version than they did in our old version. The lighting... Sorry, got like a frog in my throat. The lighting in this... so we actually switched engines. You guys probably heard us say that in the forums and stuff. We said, like, yeah, we're switching engines. We went from CryEngine version 3.4 to CryEngine version 3.5, and that's where we're developing now. And there are so many changes in CryEngine 3.5. Sean can tell you most of them. He's kind of been following the CryEngine development for a long time, and he's very much aware of like what changes have happened in the engine. But anyway, what it meant for us is that the lighting in this is... So actually what you're seeing now, though, is still 3.4. So Sean he took our old island in the same engine, and he made it look like this. So this is the old engine. That just shows you what an artist can do, I guess, as opposed to what we can do. But anyway, so I'm gonna go. I kind of want to walk down just this path to show you guys like what it looks like, because it's a lot different. And you'll notice we still have the old inventory. This is the same inventory that you saw in our other game. We've added some slots to it and everything, but it's essentially the same. And I have like a skills menu here, but it's essentially the same inventory, and we'll show you what we've got going on nowadays. But anyway, in this game, you know, I got my fire spells, which are actually pretty good. On the right there, you can see my mana bar, but we call it Ichor now. It's what we've named it finally. It's my Ichor bar, and you can choose spells. We've done a lot with spells. I'll talk about those when we pull up the new one as well. But anyway, vast improvements to the engine. It does feel a little lonely if you ever come to the edges of this island. You just have the infinite expanse of space and ocean. But the sky looks pretty good. And if you're inland on the island, it looks pretty good. So anyway, I just want you guys to kind of remember what this looks like. You guys are probably really familiar with it because you've played it a lot on Steam, but you'll see some of the new improvements that we've had. On the left, like you see the 4, Z, R, F, and Q on that left side of the screen. That was kind of like our HUD to tell you what you had equipped in what slots. And so like if I equipped a death shard, it would like swap out what my 2 spells are on that shard. And this was never really how we wanted, like each shard only has 2 spells. That's never really what we wanted the game to be, but it was kind of what we put together because we were trying to get a lot of other things. And probably if we would have just kept developing this version, by now it would be different. But there were so many limitations in this version that we just decided we couldn't. It would be better in the long run for you guys and for us to just move engines and do a lot more. So anyway, I'm just checking the comments here. All right, so anyway, just moving on. Another big thing, like I was saying earlier, is Sean introduced a lot of vertical space. So like you have this huge focal point of the temple up there that you can see, and that will have storyline significance. And I can answer some questions about the storyline if you guys are curious, but I don't want to give too much away. Anyway, we have this stuff, and one thing that we kind of promised early on. I'm fighting these skeletons. One thing that we promised early on in development was we're like, we don't want our game to just be a left click simulator. Like whoever just clicks their button the fastest will win. And that's to our fault. That's actually what this game is. And there's actually some bugs. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like I can actually attack faster than my animations allow me. Like I click like once per attack almost. So if I just like spam click at these guys, I'll kill them so fast as if I tried to not click. There is something, or if I tried to like time my clicks. There are some things about this that are pretty good though, like the blocking was good. We have good hit reactions in this, and we have like a few, like I can time my blocks if I can do it. I can't do it because I'm bad at my own game, but I can time my blocks and actually parry their attacks and stun them. Your screen doesn't turn to ice anymore, but it still kind of functions the same way. I'll go down here. The infamous Necromancer boss is down here, as you guys probably are all too familiar. He's kind of hard to beat. Okay, you're asking about what kind of limitations. So what kind of limitations? I think I've got to go back a little bit. It says what kind of limitations were in 3.4. Well, graphically, the limitations were huge. This is about like as good as we could have ever made our engine look. And, I mean, it was okay, but we really took it to the next level. And then here's another thing. We were programming on our old engine without, like, we wanted multiplayer to be part of the game. But the new 3.5 had some very attractive multiplayer options for us. And we didn't understand how the multiplayer code worked in 3.4. We might have been able to get it to work. We don't know because we moved before we did it, but we definitely will be able to get it to work in the new version. Not to mention that, just the new, like there were some bad Windows 8 problems with 3.4, the one I'm in now. And it took us a long time to like get those problems solved, and I'm not even sure that they're solved. I think you guys can play it on Windows 8. I know a lot of these other guys, they're all running. I'm on Windows 7 still, but they're on Windows 8. But anyway, I know there were some problems there too, so there were just some limitations. We just felt like it'd be a lot better to switch. It was a lot more work than we'd hoped, and we had a busy summer with different things that came up, but anyway, we got away. So anyway, here's the Necromancer boss. He's pretty much just so much, he will kill you so bad. But I'm pretty tough, so maybe I can kill him. When he charges that up, you gotta just run. Oh, I'm gonna get a bug, I think. You guys have probably had this one, where he like, hold on, this is hard. I'm focusing. just gonna kill him. I can do it. Don't kill me. Just get in this corner and just beat him down. I'm gonna die and it's gonna be so embarrassing. I won! Sweet, so I killed him. You know, he drops the Death Shard and the Necromancer Hood. We never did get an icon for that, but I'll go ahead and wear it. We got this chest here. What do we got? Nothing. I have way better equipment than all this. I played this game a lot. So anyway, this is the Necromancer Cave. We have more to the story. This is going to be kind of the first quest that you'll have to do in order to progress up to the temple on top of the mountain, but we haven't implemented that yet. But we do have it planned out for what it's going to be. So I'm just going to keep walking a little ways down this, down this path. And as you can see, lighting a lot better. He made new trees for us. These light shafts coming through the trees look spectacular. Yeah, just better island composition. A lot more like going up and stuff. You can see I'm kind of like in a hole right here, and there's stuff on the side. Anyway, it looks pretty good. These particles that I made those, this floaty particles. So that is my contribution to the game. Don't ever say I didn't do anything for you guys. Flowers. He brought those over. Those are really high poly. One day you'll have to take your time and really look at how good those are. They're wonderful. So anyway, I don't know if you guys have any more questions about this build on Steam and what we've done. Go ahead and ask us, and we'll talk about, what we've been working on, and kind of any questions you guys have. We just want to, take some time to be interactive live with you guys. So if I don't catch, let's see, I'm going to read the question. If I don't catch any of these, hopefully these other guys are catching them, most of them. Yeah, it looks like they're doing pretty good. So yeah, if I don't catch any of them, I'm sorry. I'll try and look over there occasionally. Hopefully these guys answer any questions you have. Anyway, yeah, you guys have probably made this run a million times. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, actually. Let's just kill these guys really quick. Oh yeah, I got a blue item. This is good stuff. Just beat this guy down with a mace. The Valaran soldiers. Aren't you guys curious about the story? There is a story, even if, we haven't spent a lot of time telling it. Maybe I won't tell you guys anything. You'll just have to figure it out for yourselves. I'll tell you through the game. Windows XP. Oh, hold on. I got some stuff. It says, how come the final version you showed had more sounds than the Steam version? Like I was saying, we added more. We did a bunch of work on it, and then we switched it. And there were bugs in this version that I'm showing right now. And yeah, there were bugs in it, so we never pushed it out. And yeah, you guys, we probably should have. We should have had like one more update for you guys for our old version, but we got so busy with the other one, and it was starting to look so promising so soon that we didn't want to abandon our efforts and fix some of the bugs we'd introduced in our new version, or in the newest version of the Steam version. So I guess there's a lot of versions going on. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, and I'm not just saying stupid stuff. Anyway, the skills menu, I'm already mastered with the shield, and that's not going to be true anymore. I'm already excellent with one-handed swords. Ooh, I'm fair with maces, but we are going to have this system where we've talked a little bit about like having a system instead of just saying like you have a skill of 18 with your sword. That doesn't really translate into a good like that kind of reduces an immersive game into just a mechanical element. And so we thought, if you're asking somebody in real life like how good are you with the sword, they can't say like I'm a 12, but they could say, oh, I'm pretty good, or I am excellent, or just fair or bad or whatever. And so we will, you are getting better at skills and stuff, and we're actually going to have a more descriptions, so we'll have a higher number of words, so you will be able to see yourself getting better at stuff. We won't take away that pleasure that the RPGs give you of like watching yourself progress. We'll have a lot of description words, but essentially we didn't want to just present you guys with just raw numbers everywhere, because that's just kind of, I don't know, like I said, it just sort of breaks the immersion a little bit, in my opinion. I have some other questions. It says, while I'm trying to read while I fight, I'm not even watching. It says, Somebody asked a question about the storyline, I think. Anyway. Oh yeah, they're asking a question about the story. So let me just give you guys a rundown on what's going on in the storyline. And oh, by the way, yes, we do have a composer. His name is Chris Kukla, Kukla. He's very good. He's done more songs for us now since the Steam version, and they will be in the game as well as sound effects, including, you know, running, fighting sound effects, environment sound effects. And he's done a main title for us, a different battle theme, since the battle theme in this song this battle song in this is pretty repetitive, and we didn't really like it. So he's very good. But anyway, I'm just going to go over a little bit about the storyline. So in this version, I won't get into it, but basically we changed a lot of things. But in how the storyline is going to be is you're going to start out like some of these other open world RPGs start out, where you're going to name and create your character. That's not going to be given to you. Like in The Witcher, you start out as Geralt. I don't know how to say that. Sorry if I am offending somebody with my poor knowledge of what the name of that guy is. But anyway, you're going to be starting out as... Oh, I don't want that. I want my fire shard. You're going to be starting out as a blank character that you're going to name, and you're going to create. We're going to get our character creation system. If it's not out for the update, it will be out shortly thereafter. Our next update, I think. We'll have at least a basic one, and it will get better over time. And you're on this island, and something happened on this island some months ago, where you're in the town of these people called the Elduri people, and they are living in this town. They've lived in peace essentially on this island for a long time. And one of the people, so the backstory is that there was the king of the Elduri people, or their leader. He was assassinated, and his son, it was named Rin. Rin came to this island in order to be coronated the new king over the Elduri people. But it turns out that the government, the Valaran government, they were the ones who assassinated the old king. And so they showed up on the island because, like, there was a bunch of people required to perform the coronation according to the Elduri traditions. And so they showed up after they assassinated the king. They knew that a lot of important Elduri people would be there. So they were going to just kill them all at the same time. And then something happened on the island with Rin and with a bunch of the people. And the storyline is going to be to kind of figure out exactly what went down, because you'll see that the people in the town aren't quite sure, and some people might know more than others, and you're trying to figure out like what really happened between the government and Rin. And Rin is missing now. He's not on this island anymore, and some people think he's a hero, and some people think he's, evil. So you just start in the island, in the Elduri town in the island, and we didn't want to write necessarily a backstory for you because we wanted you to be a part of this experience yourself. And that's kind of it. So these Elduri people, like I said, it was some months ago that happened, and these Valaran people, have been on this island sort of. They wanted Rin, really, is what they wanted, and they're kind of here still as like a military occupation, and they're kind of sieging the people. And they're hoping to get Rin. They're hoping that he'll come back, or they're just sort of tormenting the Elduri. And they don't like the Elduri people because they kind of teach that religion. The Elduri are religious people, and so religion causes wars and things like that. And that's what the Valaran government teaches, and they hate the religion of them, and they don't want to allow their people to have the freedom of religion. And so they're kind of using treachery and things like that to get rid of religion across the land, I guess you could say. And the Elduri just happen to be who they targeted at this time. But they're just this huge government force, and that's kind of where the storyline goes. So anyway, okay. Will there be cutscenes in the game? No, there will not be any cutscenes in the game. You will always be in control of your character. Other questions while I'm spam clicking and killing this and reading. It says, are there going to be any stats exposed at all? Well, Like, there is a few already that you can see. You know how much life you have. You know how much stamina you have. You will be able to see some progress towards certain things. But like I said, these skills in the skills menu, we'll have a more like specific, what's that word? I don't know. We'll have a lot more description words. So you'll see yourself getting better, a lot better. Like right now, I think there's only like, man, this guy's gonna kill me. There's only like 10 or so. I'm dead. Oh, I killed him. I burned him to death. Anyway, I think there's only like 10 or so. No, there's not even 10. There's maybe like 6 or 7. We have like over 20 now in our new version of it. So you will still feel like you're getting better. And then there'll be other things like when you get so good at like you'll get so good at, you know, maybe swords or something. So like we've talked about this before. Swords and shields, that's one combo. A sword and a sword, that's another combo. Every loadout in your hands, your left and right hand, it creates a combination. And so eventually you'll get like good at, you know, wielding a sword and a shield. And once you've reached a certain level of proficiency with that combination, you'll be given like a title that you can choose to display as part of your name, you know, like, I don't know, so-and-so the Sword Master or whatever. Sword Master would be a good one. Anyway, this was, I don't know if you guys got this update either. We made this part quite difficult, actually. I will die in this. There's people shooting arrows, but if you're really tricky, they can shoot their own guys. And they can help you. But if they do hit you, that will kill you. So this part's really hard. I don't know if I can do it. These guys are so tough. Yeah, I'm probably going to die. Man, those arrows will kill you. Anyway, other question. No, I'm dead. All right, back to the questions. It says, will there be any cap on your stats? No, there will be no cap to your statistics. You will be able to get more life and more... Oh, Brian, yeah, he already answered that. Your skills will continue to grow, but with diminishing returns. That's right. You'll be able to keep growing forever. And that's one thing that we wanted to make sure that you do. And like I said, I'm getting better at maces instantly. The second that I use them, I get better at them. I don't have to wait for a level up. And one thing that we've talked about, and I don't want to be somebody who rags on other games. We love a lot of games, but a comment that I'll make on some like the so this happened to me in Oblivion, I guess, but I love Oblivion, so don't think I hate that game. But I remember like when I was playing that game, what was I gonna say? Anyway, basically when I was playing that game, like I would get better at a certain skill, you know, and then I would have to level up. On one of my guys, I like leveled up a whole bunch of other, like the wrong things. That was like, I wasn't leveling up combat, I was doing like alchemy and stuff like that. So then when I went out to fight, I was like destroyed because I didn't fight, and like the world leveled up with you, and there was like no way for me to get back to being like, I couldn't, like even wolves would kill me really easily, and just really basic guys. And so, you know, that whole notion of having the world level up with you and level ups in general, like that won't be a part of our game. What we've wanted to do was like, if you play the game with a sword and a shield and you get pretty far, but you decide that you want to switch it up, you won't be punished for wanting to switch it up. You might have to go back a couple of areas with, you know, say you wanted to start in magic. You'll go back to easier areas. Probably you wouldn't have to go back to the first and fight the easiest guys, but you'd go back a couple of areas and start training with your magic there. And you'd be able to get better, you know, at that too. So you could be a guy who's good at both sword and shield and at using magic, and you would not be punished for that. So hopefully that clears things up. We don't want to punish people for wanting to get good at multiple things or taking their time or wanting to put a lot of time into something. You will never be punished for putting a lot of time into something, you know, that you think is cool. You'll still be able to fight somebody out there. The world will not level up with you, if that makes sense. So anyway, yeah, I think that should clear up some of those. But like I said, if you guys have any questions about that, we feel really good about that. I'll show you when we get into the other map. This island makes up about like 10% of the total like walkable, explorable area of the game. And we've added in the land for those other areas, so they're in the map when you download the new update next week. You'll be able to look off and see the land masses out there, but they're not developed yet. So like we're probably just going to block them off so you won't be able to go there yet, but you'll kind of get a sense for, you know, maybe some of the other land that is around this island. And, you know, we'll have future updates will, you know, they'll unlock those islands. Like one update, you know, a big update might be like the adjacent island to the starting island is now, you know, accessible or something like that. And so when like a big version comes out, it'll probably take us some time, but we want to get all of those different islands, you know, like developed and everything like that. So anyway, hopefully that's kind of answered some of your questions about that. But you guys probably want to see the new version, so you guys already know about this version. But like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them and we'll keep up on it. But okay. All right, I'm going to quit out of this. So one thing I got to check really quick. We've been adding in stuff into the game like up to this very second. So do you have the map already ready? Have you pushed out like have you placed him in the map? All right, so just give us a second. Okay, just give us a second. Like I said, we're working on the game like as I do it. So maybe while I do that, let me just have some people come over here so you guys can talk to them. You like my contraption? Sean, come here for a second. Let's get Sean on screen. This is our artist. I'm going to take the microphone off. So this right here, let's see. Get over here, Sean. This is Sean O'Connor.
Hello.
He is an artist. He moved here from California, and he's the one that is behind all the magic that you guys have seen. Here, I'll do something crazy right here. This is my streaming software. You can see it. That's exciting. Anyway, so he's kind of responsible for all of that. But anyway, Sean, I guess I'll interview you really quick. So a question that we had was, what is better about 3.5? Why artistically, why did we make the switch to 3.5?
Lighting, graphics, materials, just a more visually appealing game.
So pretty much everything. Art was just overhauled completely in the new version.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so and I do want to say we do feel bad about having to switch because we feel bad about having you guys go without updates for so long, and we really want to get on a schedule where we can push out some sort of update every week. We're thinking like Wednesdays. We want to push out an update on Wednesdays, and you know, just the way things go, we obviously won't be able to do that every single week, but generally that's what we want. So we got a few more questions here. It says, will you have followers, or will there be any consideration to have followers? Yeah, I think that you know, we'll have definitely like NPCs that interact with you strongly. We want to try to minimize frustrating quests though. Like there are some quests out there where like you have this quest. Oh, I think Ryan wanted to talk to you. So anyway, there are like some quests out there where you have to like follow a you know, you have to have somebody follow you, and they're really slow and really weak, and they always die. That kind of stuff's just frustrating. But, you know, maybe followers or people that come with you that can help you fight, we would definitely consider that and try to see it summonable or otherwise. Yeah, I think we will look into that. It's not like super high on our list, but something that we'll consider. Next question says, tameable mounts like in Ultima, or just buy them from like a horse merchant? Well, so here's what I think. I don't know what you're saying in Ultima, and I apologize that I haven't played that game and don't know the exact question you're talking about, but the best mounts that in a game that I played was actually in Red Dead Redemption, and I do believe what they did was tameable mounts, and we really liked their system because it had like, it just felt so good to ride those horses, and it felt really good to like get on and off them. They were really, really fast, like really seamless. And it also was nice because it, like if your horse got shot and died in that game, you didn't actually lose the horse. So basically, like once you tamed a horse, you could have that horse forever. And we really like that. So we do want to probably implement like a tame system. I don't know if I liked their, you know, Red Dead Redemption's tame system exactly, but I don't know. We like the idea, though. We like the mechanic of it, of getting on a horse. It's really fast. Like, getting on and off is really fast and really seamless. And then, like, even, like, Ocarina of Time for the N64 had, like, a good horseback, like, you could shoot your bow. So we wanted to add something like that as well. But we actually have concept art and even, like, a really crappy model for a horse that will be thrown away and started over. And then we'll one day get those in. But that's a little further down the road because there's so much more that we want to get in. But it says, will there be any fantasy in-game large-scale beasts? Yes. We've talked a little bit about, I'm glad you asked that question because it reminds me about like the lore of our game. And we've talked about how we didn't want to borrow too heavily from like, I guess, D&D inspired fantasy. Obviously, you know, it's sort of permeated through our culture. And so we're probably not going to, you know, try to get way outside the scope of everything. Oh, okay. I got to do some commits while I'm talking. But anyway, while we're, what was I saying? I was talking about, like the Tolkien style and D&D style stuff. Here, Sean, just do it for me while I talk. So anyway, yeah, we probably will have some of that lore, but we definitely want to have at least like the dragon level of epicness and scariness of this huge beast that terrorizes you. And I don't know if we'll do like what Skyrim did, where they'll just be common and like be everywhere, but kind of how we do boss fights is a little different from them. It's a little closer to how Dark Souls does them, I think. We're not going to have quite like as super, you know, like discrete of arenas as Dark Souls has had, but we do want to have just a little bit different boss fights, so you won't be like have, you know, the dragon come and kill all the NPCs in your town. Do you got it, or are you still looking at? Oh, reverting my unchanged files. Okay, hold on just a second. Okay, so says Ultima's tame system was basically go up to any beast in the game that required a tame system, then use the skill on the creature. You can have a pet. Okay, so yeah, that, like I said, exactly how you tame horses and stuff, I'm not exactly sure. But yes, I like that idea a lot. And, you know, being able to tame a mount or something like that, or even just a follower pet, or, you know, some like beast that can help fight with you and things like that. That could be potentially really, really fun for us. Something that we've wanted. So anyway, we're still trying to, sorry, I actually had some code that I had programmed on my computer, and it didn't get over for them to prepare the map all the way. Sorry, we were working all morning and we thought we had more of this, but we're not quite there yet, so I apologize for that. I guess I can, what can I show you guys that'll be a lot of fun for you to see? I don't know. I'll think about something. Maybe I'll go back into, if you have any more questions. But anyway, we're getting close there. I don't know why is this reversion taking so long? What did you revert, like, how far back? That's it? It doesn't take this long for me. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, another thing that I just wanted to say really quick for you guys is I just wanted to thank you guys for supporting us. I know, like I said, that it's been a long time since we've had an update. And, you know, you guys are all the ones who have purchased our game on, you know, early access. And we really couldn't have developed this far without you guys. And anyway, like I said, it was just like we've been working for less than minimum wage doing this game. We work way more than full time. And we really believe in this game. We really want it to be something that, you know, we want to make the game that we want to play. And I think that there's a lot of people who want to play it. And we're really committed to the idea, and we're really committed to making it work. And so just know that if there's any way possible for us to do it, we will do it. And we have been working really hard, and we hope that with this new update, with a new update coming out, we'll be able to sort of be a little more public. We've kind of withheld advertising our game at all because we didn't want people to, if people found the game and bought it and whatever, that would be great. But we didn't want to like start advertising as that we had some finished product, knowing that it would be a while for us to have updates come out. But now that we have some of these updates, like once we get to our weekly update schedule, we'll be able to do that a lot more. So anyway, there was a question about co-op and how that affects storyline. Basically, we think a system similar to Borderlands would be good for us, where you would be able to like invite someone into your world, and they would jump in your world and help you out, and their storyline wouldn't matter, only their character would matter. And so like they would jump in, help you out maybe if you needed them help you with a boss or whatever. They could help you out or whatever. And anyway, they would be able to jump in. And then when they leave, their storyline, their world is unchanged. Just yours remains changed, if that makes sense. So anyway, I think you just need... Oh yeah, you don't want to do those. That's right. I don't know some of those other things even, why they got changed. But is my code even in there for the shards? Shard... No? Oh. Okay. All right. You guys can probably see that we're using Perforce and how great it is and all our subversioning. You probably love that. Anyway, yeah, like I said, any other questions, just keep them coming, and we will definitely... Oh, will there be mod support? So yeah, we are. We think that mods are a great idea, and we're working with the CryEngine. And one thing that you'll be able to do is you'll be able to replace any there will definitely be modability for like texture packs and sound packs and all of those assets that we have. Oh, hello from France. Hello to bonjour from France. I speak French apparently. But anyway, let's see, mod support. So yes, there'll be that. And we hope to be able to just blow it wide open for modders and be able to help, have modders do a lot for it. We really like that idea, and it's obvious in the games that have a lot of modding support. That's why their games keep staying good, and we really want to be active as well. Like, we don't want to be developers that just release a game and forget about it. So if there are really popular mods, mods that are just awesome, we'll want to incorporate their idea, or at least, and we'll probably contact and be in touch with the modders and want to put core changes into the game, into the core game. I mean, like mods that are just simply too good, if they belong in the game, then that's where they'll be. If we can work, we want to be able to work something like that out. There was another question. It said, will two people be able to play the story together? Yeah, people would be able to play the story together, and then there's a potential for trolls to enter your game, kill an important story-related NPC, and then flee. So, yeah, that's a good point about trolls. We're not going to have an open system where just like, if you don't want somebody to come into your world, you will not have to have that person come into your world. You'll have to invite people, essentially. Someone might, we're going to integrate it with Steam, so you'll use your Steam's friends list, and then they will be able to, you'll be able to, invite people from your friends lists. Inventory space, will it be based on backpack size or limited slots? Crafting materials end up in the same pack as other items are picked up. Definitely crafting materials will be in their own inventory. As far as inventory space management, we have kicked around a lot of ideas, and that is a really hard subject. We've actually racked our brains for the best ideal way to organize an inventory system or implement one into a game. And to be honest, there isn't like a perfect way. I mean, everybody has preferences and opinions, and some work for some games more than they work for others. A couple things are definitely out. We don't want to have an infinitely big inventory, but we don't want to have I don't know. Right now we're working just with a slot-based one, just the typical slot-based one, and I think we'll probably keep that for a while until we hear otherwise. Anyway, I will immediately create an unlimited inventory. Well, I guess we will have options. We will have options for people to expand their inventory with spells and things like that. So, Yeah, I like inventory management. I know, like I said, I know it's really important for people. So, another game. Will this question have different biomes like deserts and mountains? Yes, the different islands that you'll be able to see here pretty soon, they'll have different. You'll be able to go basically from this peaceful forest that you see now to like jungles, deserts, all the way up to a snowy area. But we're actually handcrafting it all. It's not randomly generated. So we are making it all, but we do have planned for many different biomes to come into the game. So it looks like we're getting pretty close. Yep, he's saving out the new map pretty soon. And hopefully, sorry again, guys. I really feel bad about this. But it will be worth the wait, I think, to see our new update. And I'm really glad I can answer your guys' questions. So, another thing I wanted to say about modders. Right now we're using just the CryEngine SDK, and if you guys wanted to download that and see how to get files into, see how to get stuff into the engine, you could potentially make stuff for our game that way. New items, we already have wrote an XML system so that new items can be defined in XML, and the geometry can be linked in our game all through XML. So, things like that, mods like that will be definitely available in our game. And we're going to think about extending more of the functionality of our game out to modders too. So, yeah, we're exporting the map to the game right now. It takes a little while. Map scaling in underground areas load screens. No loading screens. The game will be one seamless experience from one end of the one end of the map to the other end of the map. And I can't answer this for sure because it's pretty hard to get an idea of it. But our game will be about the same size as Skyrim, I want to say. It'll be like 4 square kilometers, but that doesn't really translate super well into like real world. So I don't know. 4 square kilometers is like not even the size of your town. So, but it's about as big as Skyrim. So anyway, it's close to that. Like I said, whether it's bigger or not, it's not like triple the size and it's not like half the size. It's somewhere in there. So it's about the same size, but no loading screens. One seamless thing. And there's also no cells. Like I think Skyrim used a cell thing, and it would theoretically be possible in our game. Like the CryEngine is made for like a super large first-person shooter. I think it would theoretically be possible to like stand on the Temple Island, which is in one end of the map, and like shoot somebody on the other end of the map 4 kilometers away with like a sniper rifle, if we had that in our games, but we don't. But I believe like it's all just one cell. Isn't that the way it is? Yeah. So like, yeah. Anyway, how about boats or piratry, like or Arcade? I don't know that game, if that's a game, but we do want to have, that's another thing we've talked about. That's pretty far down the list, but we would like to have some sort of sailing system. And right now, with the way that the engine is and our license, we don't have source access to the engine right now, but we do have a lot of access. We probably wouldn't be able to implement a like really super like full featured one like Black Flag or anything, but they do have boat vehicles in CryEngine, and we probably will implement some sort of boat system to travel between islands pretty soon, somewhere down development. I think there's a lot of features that we'd like to get in first, but that is something that it would be really fun to have. We are going to have, actually, the main quest is going to have a large capital ship involved in it pretty early on, but yeah. So yeah, a little bit of the boats. Okay, looks like the update just came across. Let me pull up my thing here. Oh, never mind, it's not ready yet. It is loading though. It is getting loaded. Sorry guys. Hidden diving areas, yeah, of course there'll be hidden diving areas. You gotta have stuff to explore in the ocean, and you'll have to. We're gonna have a lot of like, one of the things that we really like is having just a content dense like land, like content dense environment, I guess. We don't want you to have to go very far before something you can explore, see, kill, or talk to something. And anyway, so the ocean is pretty big in our game. There's a lot of different islands, so we definitely want to have some sort of combat like that involves that. Underwater combat, we haven't really talked about that, but we have talked a little bit about having some things in the water, so we might have to think about it. How does lung and breathing work for that? We haven't implemented a holding your breath system, but I think we will. And it'll probably be just like everything else, where the first time that you dive down into the water, you won't be able to stay underwater for very long. But the more you do it, the better that you will get at it. So, yeah, that's kind of how we want to do that. Just another thing. I think that like people in real life can hold their breath for really long time. I don't know what the world record is. Didn't like David Blaine have a record? I don't know. Some of you guys probably know, but people can hold their breath for a long time. Will this game include violence like blood or dismember body? You know, we don't want to take the gore and like just like we don't want to make it over the top. I think you need some like you know, visceral things to like make it feel right, like you're in combat. But like this, yeah, enough to be realistic, but not enough to just like have gratuitous excessive gore. Like we're shooting for like I don't know, we don't. I'm sure modders will probably take it and take it far. Stealth system, yes, we are going to implement a stealth system. That's actually one of the higher up things on our list after we get melee combat feeling really good. We have a couple of animations for it, but anyway, lock picking and pickpocketing, yes, both of those will be part of that stealth system. Yeah, like I said, you even said it. Someone will mod our game to have decapitation and limb cutting off, but we didn't want it to be too much for people. So you go for it though, and have your mod there. That is certainly something we can allow you to do. A German freediver has the world record for more than 20 minutes. It's like Guybrush Threepwood style. Yeah, crime system, of course. You'll be able to break the law, and there will be consequences for that associated with the stealth system. And lockpicking and pickpocketing, crime systems, it's all part of that, and we want to have stealth combat. Thank you for making it excessive gore. I said I wouldn't make it excessive gore, but that French guy will. Oh, not have excessive gore. Yeah, thank you. Factions or guilds? Yeah, factions are already actually something. I'll show you when we get this up. We already have factions, and guilds will be something. You know how they have like thieves guilds in Skyrim and those games? We really like doing quest lines for guilds and factions. I think that's really fun. And yes, of course it would be from the man from France. I'm sure there will be nudity mods like the second that we get our game out there, but we are not putting that in, so of course. Anyway, that will be no offense to you or your country. France is great. All right, we think we finally have the repository up and ready. Get the latest revision here. I'll show you guys the progress bar so you know what I'm doing. It's going to take a while. But anyway, yeah, factions and guilds, going back to that. Really like that idea. Morrowind actually had so many quest lines and factions. I think it had more than Oblivion did. And so hidden guilds and factions, yes. What? Oh, it's done? I want these. Wait, okay. Yeah, I'm going to check out these here. Resolve. All right, still resolving. Sorry, guys. Anyway, factions and guilds, hidden guilds and factions, yes. Love all that kind of stuff. I think it's brilliant. It's what makes the game fun, like just having, you know, little offshoot things that you can spend a lot of time, you know, spend a ton of time rising in a guild, rising in a faction, being part of like a small military group or something like that, and being able to go up in those. We love that idea. I think that's wonderful, so we definitely want to make it part of our thing. Sean, hold on just a second. All right. Anyway, yep. Oh, it looks like we're there. Sorry, guys. I'm like wasting time. So let's check this out. See if I can get the newest update up and running. No. I should have. I resolved with the DLL, right? That's what I needed to do. Should have your DLL. Revert. Hold on. Let me just make sure all this is good. No, we'll get that afterwards. All right, we should be up and running, guys. Armor affects speed and swimming movement. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. If you're going to, and that's actually a good comment. If you're going to just like deck yourself out in thick, heavy armor, then you are going to be like so resistant to getting hit with swords and arrows and stuff, but it will be harder for you to move, and swimming will be much more difficult. What kind of different magic spells and abilities do you plan on implementing in the game? All of them. You name it, we want to have it in the game. Just tons of magic spells and abilities. Big part of our game, I think. We're going to show just the most basic introduction of magic today. Anyway, here we go. This is a new game loading up. We got this nice little loading screen. When you guys get the update, you probably won't be dumped right into the game like I'm going to be. You're probably going to be given, you know, like placed into a nice little main menu screen. So that'll be fun for you. All right, so here we go, new version. If you can't already tell, it's been a long time since I showed you the old version, but if you can't already tell, this is so much better. The lighting is so much better. I can't even explain how much like more beautiful it looks in here. You'll notice that there's touch bending on the vegetation here. The armor that I'm wearing looks a billion times better. The wind that blows through moves this. It just looks so much better, and it feels so much better. This is going to be the player's house right over here. You're going to have to buy it. It's going to be available for sale. I think my... Anyway, you're going to have to... buy this. It'll be for sale, but I'll show it to you really quick on what it looks like. So if you go in here... this is, oh, and our camera clipping is going to be fixed today too, I think. Maybe when we get around, we'll get it. We'll get it soon. So anyway, yeah, here we are. Look at the interiors and how much better they look. That real lighting just flowing across. This is all real-time lighting. You know, if I'm carrying around a torch, it's going to throw real-time shadows. It's not going to show anything there. Well, I'm like, had some weird clipping there. So this will be your house. You'll be able to access all of this. You'll even be able to go into your own bedroom to rest your head upon your own pillow. No, there's no place like home, even in a game. And you'll be able to eat this short stack of steaks, raw steaks. Gotta have meat. Plenty of meat in this game. The town has been expanded even again, and we've added, you know, so it just isn't endless expansive ocean. And yes, look out there. There's lots of land out there. We'll talk about that more later when we get over there. We took out, it used to be right here was that the arms dealer used to live right here, but now there's a path that leads down. Whoa, don't fall off. It's easy to fall off. I almost did. Don't fall off. You'll be able to come down here. This is actually going to be like a lodge type area where I'm sure a lot of quests will be, you know, start from here. It's going to be a hunting. We're going to have hunting in the game with bows where you actually have to shoot animals properly instead of just attack them with normal combat. But it's also just kind of like, you know, your general area with just your typical lodge where people get together and do what they do at lodges. Little combat training area back here. We're going to make this a much more interactive area. These will be targets that you can shoot with your bow. There's going to be a dummy hanging off right here that you can hit with your sword. I'm going to show you more about your swords later and talk a lot more about combat. And the guy looks a lot better than he did. I think I can't even explain to you how much better he looks. I just can't even explain it. I'll actually go look at another guy here in town. But yeah, the town has been expanded again. The interiors have all been like completely re-overhauled to look so much better. This is actually here's another like just a little building in town. I went in this exact same building, if you remember, just when we were in the old version. But now it looks like this instead of like it looked before. It just looks so much better. It's so much better. Yeah, a lot better. And What was I talking about? Oh yeah, there was a guy around here. He's going to be one of the Eldari guards standing around. I'm going to go show you his armor set if I can get a close up of him before the sun goes down. Where'd he go?
You can just set the time of day.
Yeah, set the time of day.
Because it's too dark.
Set it to
E time of day.
1300.
E time of day,
1300.
like so.
No, just 13.
Just 13. It's just the two brothers. All right. Get some good lighting for you guys. Oh, this guy, he said, these houses look like ancient Nordic houses. You just gave our artist the greatest compliment you ever could.
Thank you.
Here you go. Here's what the guys look like. He and I are the same model. We're going to have more models and customization, but it's like looking into a mirror. Anyway, there's his armor set. That's like that's the Eldari military uniform. It looks a lot better. They're a more rustic people. They have more fur and stuff in their armor and stuff like that. All right, so anyway, let's talk a little bit about combat since that's what we've been working on. And we're still working on it, but we do have some of it already. Oh, you know what? Before we get in there, I got to show you guys this. Here we go. This is what our thing. Don't ignore that everything looks like a sword. Okay, we're going to get those in later, but this is what the inventory looks like now. And like I said, we got that slot system. Your money will go here. Your crafting materials will actually go here. They won't be in inventory. You'll just hover over it and it will list, just like right here, what crafting materials, or maybe like up here in this spot. It'll list what crafting materials you have. And then this is like, we have another system for like crafting magical things, and they'll go in this one. So you will not carry around, you know, iron ore and stuff as one of your main items. This is the map menu. A lot of these menus are not quite finished. Well, they're not finished at all, but you can kind of see their prototypes for them. The maps right here will show, you know, you're going to buy different maps from people, and you'll click on a map here, and then it will show that map over here. And it won't be an interactive map. I know that's kind of a controversial decision we're making, but it's not like you had an interactive map back in the day. This will be a map that you bought from somebody, and how good it is and accurate it is depends on how good the person, you know, maybe how much you paid for it, how good the person was that gave it to you. And it will just be a reference for you to look like, just like a real-life map, not like a interactive smartphone with Google Maps on it. The shards menu. So we need to do a little bit here more. But basically what will happen is I'll show you some spells, but you'll find shards like you did in our current version, and you'll put them into your wrists. That's part of the lore, is you find these shards that contain, kind of the lore is like, they're called blood shards. And what they do is, like, if you find a fire blood shard, the lore is that that shard contains within it the blood of fire. And so when you put it inside your hand, your blood mixes with the blood inside the shard and allows you to exert the force of fire. And that's kind of what will happen. And so when you find a fire shard, you'll put it into your wrist right here, and then it'll have a spell, at least one spell that you'll be able to cast from it, and you'll drag it down from here into your hotbar down here, and you'll be able to cast it using, you know, the buttons that are associated with these things down here. And if you use a spell long enough, then it will be put into your memorized spell list, and where you will no longer need a shard to cast that spell. And like I said, shards will come with spells that are not known. You'll have to use the shard and mature the shard in your blood before you will be able to cast subsequent spells in that shard. A shard could have as few as one spell, as many as 8 or 9 potential spells to unlock. And like I said, you want to drag down the spells down here, so into your hotbar to cast them. Skills menu will have all these different, this will all make more sense, and quest menu. A lot of that's going to be pretty typical RPG stuff. So anyway, yeah, okay, good. He's on there answering you guys' questions. I haven't been paying attention. So that's kind of how it's working for now. What's up? So probably. Anyway, so like this is picking up stuff like you've known, and it highlights where you can equip it, and I think that still works. You know, you can walk around with 2 shields. That's always fun. Or 2 swords. We have all of this. This functionality is going to always be in the game, of course. So anyway, we're just going to go with your typical sword and shield for now. It's kind of what we do. One thing that I want to point out, though, and we've talked about this, is if I equip, like, you know, okay, let me just go over this because it's going to be a little complicated, but it'll make sense. you know, if I want something equipped in my right hand, this is sort of my right hand, I could just equip it right in my right hand. And you'll notice that when I do that, it fills this slot right here. So if I equip it down here, it'll also just go there. But if I, you know, and same with my shield. But I'll show you what happens if I equipped something that's not a weapon into that slot. And I can also equip my shield right here. And, you know, I won't block with it or attack with that shield in that slot. But instead, if I use it, I will throw it. And we don't have that in right now, but you can actually see, I can kind of show you guys the line. There's a trajectory line. Let me see if I can get you. You can kind of see it, maybe. It's pretty bad right now. We're going to get an animation. We just got an animation. And he'll, like, reel back and start the throw. That'll hopefully be out on the update. All the functionality's there. So you'll throw objects that are in there. But anyway, it says right here, will health regenerate over time or will you have healing spells? Well, we're going to talk about that right now. Let's fight this guy. So here's a new guy. He's wearing one of our new armor sets. I'm blocking. He has more advanced AI. Right now he's kind of, you know, strafing me, trying to be defensive. I'm being defensive. So, you know, it's just two pansies going at it. Okay, he's coming after me. Let's see if we can block him. Got him. Oh, I missed. When I hit him, it's going to be kind of loud. So if your speakers are turned all the way up, be careful. You've been warned. Oh, come on. He got me in the back. I can beat him. I can beat him, guys. The combat is a lot more technical now. I will say that. And it's going to get better. It's not, you can't just spam click and win. You'll die. All right, watch this. Someone was asking about factions. Well, let me back off and run away like a chicken, and I'll make this guy do my dirty work for me because he's on my faction. So, yeah, you can't come into this town, Buster. Come on, come on, come on. Everyone's defensive. Let's get some offense. Man, my guy can't hit him. Oh, he killed him. I thank you, sir. I thank you indeed. All right, let's go. Now let's answer your question. You'll see my health. I have lost health. Now I am regenerating health. It is quite slow at the moment, but it is happening. But I will show you something that will impress you, I think. Let me grab this thing. Oh, no. I need help. I was going to impress these people, but this guy was too close. Man. Your sword actually has to hit this guy in order for it to do damage. You can't just like swing in his direction. You have to make contact with him. Man, these guys are hard. Like I said, I told you that we had our programmer who was working on combat. He made the game a lot harder. So if you were good at the game before, prepare to be bad at the game. Let's run up here. This guy will help me. He's my best friend. You've already vanquished one of my foes. Let's make it a sound 2. And the game won't be this hard initially. Well, I don't know. We don't want it to be too hard. We want there to be some like thing, but you know, some getting to know it. We got him together. Okay, back into my inventory. This icon is obviously a placeholder, but you can post it right here and you'll see I'm out of health, but I will cast this spell and I will regain some of my health. We're going to have an animation for when you cast too, but you'll notice that my ichor bar, core bar gained some ichor. If I gain too much of that, I'll die. Well, I will get an ichor sickness buff, which will degenerate my health, and if I do that too often, I will die, or I'll die. So that passively degenerates items and things like that. You know, you could find a pair of boots or something, or a ring that gives you more health regeneration, or you could find a ring or something like that that helps your ichor dissipate quicker. So all pretty typical stuff. Let's now that I have a healing spell, this guy, he's no problem. He's a problem. Oh, that was awesome. I'm going to combo him. I have a 3-hit combo. Let's see if I can kill this guy in my 3-hit combo. Why do you dodge me here? Got to get behind him. Let's roll away. I'm losing frames, guys. My computer doesn't like running a high-end video game in the CryEngine and streaming. Anyway, killed him. Got to heal myself. All this is going to be balanced so that, you know, I won't be able to just spam heals and everything like that. It'll have cooldowns on the spells and things like that. But yeah, should be good. Did I miss something, Sean, in here? Oh, I did. I did. Let's go up there and get it. Okay, here's another one. Here's another spell. All right, so I want to talk a little more about this. So, like, this ice, nice. So anyway, this this button where you see heal written right now, that's Q. That's mapped to Q on my keyboard. So like W, A, S, D, the typical move. That's how I'm moving. And then Q will heal me. And then ice right there, that's mapped to Z on my keyboard. You'll be able to remap these outside of the game to, you know, however you want. So I just want to explain this. So if I, you know, want to cast heal, I think this one is mapped to R. I can remap that, and now my heal spell will cast when I press R. Yes, it does. I know you can't see my keyboard, but you just have to believe me. So I'm actually going to put my ice spell, Ice Javelin. You guys probably saw this when you watched the spell update right there. But I'm going to put that right there. And like I said, these spells, when the game comes out, don't ignore that. Don't look at that. Pretend you didn't see that. These things right here will be they will populate a list right here. So you'll actually drag them from here to there, and shards will. These are going to be shards. I really don't know why those are drawing, but I'll figure it out. Probably just an oversight on my part. I was actually programming that last. So anyway, okay. So the shard, the ice shard. Ice Javelin. There's the trajectory line. You can see it a lot better right here. When I click this, now normally he'll be in a throw animation. I'm holding down R right now. I'm holding it down. Then when I release the button is when he throws the projectile, and you can see it. It bounced around over there. So that's how things like, if I put my shield right there, I would get a similar thing. I would get like a trajectory line on where I'm going to chuck my shield. And then when I released it, he would throw it at things. And right now the spells don't do damage to enemies. We were talking about it. That was actually like our next thing that we were going to implement, but it would have taken another couple of days. But we can get that for the update. So your spells will actually do damage, and they'll actually have a better system. Got one more spell for you guys. This one is Arc. I think, like I said, if you guys played the game, you'll see it. I'm actually going to put my Arc right there. So now, what just happened? I still have my sword equipped, but now I have Arc equipped. So now I can't actually attack. I can only, if I click my button, I'll cast my Arc spell. And in the game, what will happen is he'll be casting it with his sword. So a sword is a terrible thing to cast with. Bare hands, that's okay. But casting it with your sword, that would probably make the spell do a lot less damage. Now, if I had like a wand or a staff that was meant for casting spells, it would be a good idea to put that spell there. So potentially what I could do is I could just load out my whole loadout here with spells. And I could just be the spell guy. That's how you would be a mage in our game, is just load out all these spells. You would have equipment that got your Ichor to disperse quickly, and you would just be casting up a furious storm of spells, and that would work. Now, also down in that bar, we don't have any to show you, but like potions are going to go down here. You know, like you only have 8 slots. And yeah, if you wanted to put your potion in that slot, you could, and then when you click, you would drink it. It's a really dynamic system to allow you to customize your character however you want to play. Maybe you're the potion guy, and all you do is just walk around with potions, and you just drink them, and all your buttons are loaded with potions. Anyway, so that's kind of how it goes. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit more. So I think, you guys have any questions about the HUD works or how, like, spells will work? Go ahead and ask them, and I'll read the chats. Oh, that's all right. So we actually had another couple things to show you, but we didn't add it, so it's all right. I did want to point out, like, look at how much better the land looks now. Like, look at this. This is the same graveyard that you guys are familiar with, but directly adjacent to it is like these landslide meshes that give so much more depth. Look at how much more foliose everything looks. That light looks fantastic coming through. Like the rocks on the ground, you can't even see the ground in this dense foliage area here. Excuse me, got the hiccups. Anyway, looking really good. We're gonna add more of these points of interest. I'll let you go explore that later. I won't ruin the surprise. There's nothing there. That's why I'm not gonna go explore it. But you can see I'm sprinting. You saw me roll. We have those. We're going to get better animations for those. We have like a huge batch of animations out to our animator. And once he finishes those, we're hoping it's by the end of next week. I'm sure it will be. Then we'll be able to implement a lot of these features a lot better. Nice rocky area. You guys familiar with this know that this is completely new, all new. There's my same particles that I implemented. Don't say I don't ever add anything to this game. This area has only gone, we've only had like one pass over it, so if you see, repeating textures and a lack of widgets and doodads on the ground, then just ignore that, because it'll get better in future updates. But yeah, it's going to be a lot. We're going to have a lot of stuff there. Actually, I was thinking we'll probably have mining loads in this area, so like you can walk around. We're going to have mining in the game, so like how you mine is you don't just hit E on it. Like you'll actually equip a pick, like a weapon, and then you'll have to swing it and hit stuff with your weapon or with your pick. You actually have to hit it to mine it. And the better you are at mining and the better pickaxe you have will determine like how quickly you get it, and also the amount that you get out of each load that you hit, things like that. So time of day keeps creeping up on me. It's not that we don't want you guys to see these other time of days. It's that they're too dark. You're gonna need torches and stuff at night, and we don't have any of those placed around. Anyway, we're kind of wrapping up here. I don't want to keep you guys forever, but we'll go over to this area. This area right here is called the Vilands, and this down here, and the storyline significance is that when the Valaran attacked, they landed in their enemy camp that you guys know about, and then they quickly moved over and kind of occupied the Vilands here. So in the game, like it is on Steam, there will be enemies here. There's actually going to be a boss fight here with one of the people who's occupying the Vilands, and you'll have to get him out. But this was like where they would grow all their food. We're actually going to add a windmill like right over there, and the windmill's going to move, and you'll actually have to, if you want to farm grain and eat it and make like our cooking system, you'll have to mill your grain and things like that at a mill, so they'll have a windmill there. But anyway, so the Vilands here, part of why the people in the town are so depressed, I guess, is because this was kind of where all their food came from and where their food storage is, and so that's been taken from them, and they're worried about what they're going to be eating. And anyway, so this is where the story significance comes from. Anyway, we're going to work more. See, these are the interiors that have not been touched up. This is what they look like before we pass through them. Still not bad. I mean, not ugly. It looks kind of just like an empty house, but looks a lot better than it does in 3.4. And this area will have a lot of significance and a lot of things that you'll need to come here and do. So, like I said, kind of wrapping things up here, I'm just going to talk a little bit about adjacent islands right here. That island right there is a little bit smaller than the island that we're currently on. Well, I say it's probably pretty similar in size. And we have planned now on what that island is going to become. And level 2 of our game, our RPG, is not going to be at the desert level. So I don't know if you guys know that like stereotype in RPGs that stage 2 is always the desert level, but we had a different idea for what we're going to do there. But as you can see, I mean, the water, the ocean, it just looks so much better in this one. I don't know if you noticed, but in our current Steam build, you can go look at it. Like, it's like flashing and stuff. There's like a flash it's like blinking, the ocean is. It looks really bad, and we don't have that anymore. I'm actually going to let the sun set towards the end of this. We're going to walk around this island. We don't have it filled with enemies yet. I just wanted to show you guys, the combat. So we didn't want to get into it anything too serious here. We're going to let you guys explore it for yourselves, but it's starting to feel really good. You have your different attacks. You have to time your attacks now. You can't just, if you just spam click, you're going to die. It has to be a lot smarter about how you play the game. So anyway, yeah, the sky is looking a lot better. We've added some clouds. If you were patient and you wanted to stare up at the sky, you would notice that the clouds are moving, and they're moving at different rates from one another, and tried to do a somewhat realistic sky thing. Right now, we don't have any way to block over, so I could just swim over there, but I'm not going to because it looks hideous, and you don't want to go over there. There's going to be a new area that we add here before you get to the tree boss. You guys are familiar with him. This area is going to be an area of ruins where there's like an ancient, like library and other things that used to exist here that the Eldari people would study and come here to have their religious stuff here. And it will have been, dilapidated and old, not because the Valaran did it, but because the Eldari people weren't very faithful in observing their faith. And you'll have to go through that area and, explore some things. So, more islands off in the distance. A lot more to explore, trust me. There's everything you can see out there in the distance you'll be able to go to. And don't be deceived. That is a lot of area. A lot. Like I said, this island is about 10%. Someone wants me to go swimming. Or maybe you want to go swimming. Well, you better do it soon because the summer's almost over if you live in the northern hemisphere. Anyway, you can go swimming. You can see my guy swim. He'll rapidly swim. Let's get out of the water. So that's about it for it, you guys. Do you have any more questions while I still got the game up and things? Feel free to ask them. Will there be different difficulties? That's a good question. So here's how it's going to be, guys. Some of you guys aren't going to like this, and some of you guys are going to love it. But every game has to have a system for how they punish you when you die. And we're not going to have difficulties. You're just going to have to be a man and play our game like it's intended to be played. When you die in our game, you will drop all of your equipment, and you will respawn at your last save location. So like your camp or the inn or your house, wherever you slept last, you'll respawn naked. And your stuff will be left out in the world where you died in a bag. You will keep your money, though. And when you die, you have to run back and get your stuff. And so if you're doing something daring or risky and you're running deep into an area, you will, if you die in that area, you'll drop your stuff. Now, the question arises, what will happen if I die again? It'll still be there. Your stuff will still be there. You can die 1,000 times and your stuff will still be there. It will be saved. So even if you quit the game and leave, it'll still be there. But you have to go back and get your stuff. I don't know, Rust? Diablo 2? Kind of like Diablo 2? Yeah, maybe Rust. But like I said, you won't lose your money. So if you really screwed yourself over and you lost all your stuff and you can't get it back because it's in too hard and you've died, there will be people around, the elders around the world. You'll have to go find one, and you will have to exchange all your money, and he will shift all your corpses in the whole world, all of them, at your feet right there in safety. But it will cost you all of your money. So early on, when you don't have hardly any money, that will probably be something that you can try out. Won't be that big of a deal. But later on, when you've amassed a fortune, you may not want to be so risky and just go. And like I said, money won't be something like that you won't be able to cheese it. Drop all your money on the ground and give all your money to your friend or something like that. You won't be able to do that. We'll have systems in place that will make it so that you are not allowed to just it will cost you all your money. That we will make sure of that. And that will be something that that's, like I said, every game has a system on punishing and death, and we just thought we don't want to take away their skills because that you spend a lot of time building up your character. We don't want to take away I don't know. We just thought we need to punish you, but not in a way that's too punishing, but in a way that's pretty serious. So, that's kind of a little bit of what we got. Like we said, some of the things that we're working on now, I'll just let you. Here, I'll reset the time for us. Ignore the log spam too. I'm just going to talk here a little bit about what's going on. Maybe I'll just keep walking around and kind of talk. Okay, so it looks like you're answering all those questions. That question about banks, you won't need a bank. You'll never lose your money unless you give it away. But there will be permanent storage for items. But you won't need a bank. Like, a bank doesn't matter. You won't drop your money on death. You'll always keep your money. Even when you die, you'll still have your money. But it will just cost you all of that money to get your stuff back if you want to use that service. Answering other questions. Spell memorization. Yeah, he's kind of explaining that. I think it'll make more sense once it actually works and is in the game. I think it'll be pretty clear on what has to happen. Like I said, I just kind of have a system in place for now. But the system you see now it's a little bit hacked together for the demo, so I apologize for that. But it is a system that will work. It's not that hacked. It's not like it's going to be, impossible for us to get there. So anyway, I'm just trying to think of any other things that I wanted to explain to you guys or let you guys know. Like I said, we're really thinking that by the end of next week we can get the update out. Shouldn't be too much longer now. As you guys can see, we're back up and running with a lot of the systems that we need. We're going to have unarmed combat. We really want it so that unarmed combat is like a part of the game. And like I love that. I don't know. That's my thing, I guess. There's two things that I really love. Being completely unarmed and having 2 shields. Like I love that. I think that this is like, just go mess people up with 2 shields. But anyway, yeah, there will be fall damage. We don't have any now. But, so yes, 2 shields. You'll be able to block with your shields and attack with your shields. Like, this is a fully legit loadout. It's not a joke. Like, you'll be able to have viable builds with 2 shields. And unarmed. Unarmed is going to be more centered around, like, grappling. Like, you'll be able to, punch people and also kick them, trip them, get them on the ground, maybe even, like, throw them over your shoulder. Things kind of like that. A lot of like disarming, you'll be able to like grab people's hands, that kind of stuff. More like what advantage would being unarmed really have, and that's how we want to make it. Big weapons like huge hammers and stuff, that'll have the advantage of just owning people in like one hit, just dominating them. Smaller weapons, they might not do as much damage, but they'll be a lot faster. You won't be as, like right now, you'll notice that when you attack, it kind of costs you something. Like you're stopped for a second. He has to play the attack animation, and you're invested in your attack. So littler weapons, there might even be some where you're never stopped. You're always mobile with your attack, but they don't do as much damage. And all loadouts will share the same combination of attacks. So if I have, no matter what sword, like long sword and shield I have, and there might be different types of shields. Let's just call it like a medium shield. So whatever long sword and medium shield I have, I will have the same combination. Those will all share a combination, and all of the combos that I've unlocked throughout my gameplay will extend to all combinations of long swords and medium shields. And if I've only ever used that, then I'll have a lot of combos with that. But if I switch to 2 daggers, I won't know very many combos. I won't have unlocked any. I'll still have some combat experience, but it'll be I think you know what I'm trying to say. You'll have to practice with those specifically to get new combos and unlock new stuff with them. So like 2 shields is its own combination of things. You'll have moves that you can unlock with this. You can get stronger with this. Unarmed is the same way. So that's kind of where we're going now. I'm trying to think if there's any other question. Tree boss. Yeah, the bosses. We're going to do... Oh, loadouts. He's going to talk about the bosses. We're going to make the bosses hard. The bosses aren't going to be free. We want to have bosses. Okay. Sorry, what was I reading about? Loadouts. Yes. We're going to have at least like 2. We'll probably do more. We'll probably just use like the keys like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know how many we'll do. Maybe we'll do 9. Maybe we'll do like 2. Maybe we'll make it apart. But when you hit like 2, it will switch your entire bar down here to whatever you had it. I just covered the cam. But it will switch your entire bar so you can have loadouts. So say that like, you have your normal loadout, sword, shield, a couple of spells, maybe your vial is down there. And you're in it to attack, but let's say you have this other loadout where it's your loadout for if you get in trouble, and maybe it's these 2 shields and a whole bunch of like, like a sprinting spell and things like that. You can hit 2, you're like, oh, I'm in trouble, I don't want to die. You can hit 2 really quick and then just get out of there. Like you'll have loadouts. Maybe you'll have loadouts for traveling faster that, like spells that help you run faster and jump higher and things like that. And you can switch to those loadouts when you're traveling and then switch to your combat loadouts and other things like that. So hopefully that will answer some of the questions that you guys had about that. But anyway, I think that's about it. I think we're going to wrap up pretty soon here. So if you guys have any questions, you better think quick because we're probably going to head out pretty soon. I'm glad. But yeah, I'm really glad that you guys came up and saw us. So thank you guys. I know there wasn't a ton of people that came, maybe only about 15, but I know that a lot of other people said they were going to watch it later. And I'm pretty sure I am recording this. I've never done it before. And if I'm not, then you guys are the chosen select few, and you should be so proud of yourselves because you're the only ones who now know the secrets of the Memory of Eldarim. But I think I recorded it, and I'll put it on YouTube if I did, so I hope that worked. Anyway, like I said, we're still aiming for next week. It'll have enemies to fight. We want to have melee combat. We want to have the basic unarmed combat, like punches and kicks. We're going to have those 3 combos that you saw. And see, I'm using the sword combos with these shields. That won't be the case. The shields will have their own combos. And we want to get just, basic sword combos in. Unarmed combat, the basics of that in. We're going to have a 2-handed weapon. Probably not. We might get a 2-handed weapon in for the update. I don't know. Spells, shards will work properly. Enemies to fight. Some loot to drop. One more thing about loot. I wanted to tell you this. Loot was, like when you killed a guy on Steam right now, he drops everything that he has. That's probably not going to be the way it is. We're probably going to make it so that you have to kind of farm guys. It'll have high, not like pretty high drop rates, but he will drop like something that he has. And if he has a special weapon, he will always drop that, because you earned it, right? If he has this awesome special weapon that he's using to beat you down and you kill him, you'll always get special equipment, like if it's good enough. Like there'll be a threshold where if it's so good, then he'll always drop that piece of equipment. Well, mainly that weapon. Or yeah, maybe his armor too. I don't know. We haven't talked about everything. So we're going to get NPCs back in shortly in subsequent updates. We want to do a lot with spells. We want to do a lot with melee combat. It's going to be good. We want to get back on our weekly update schedule. Hopefully we can do that. We've talked about it. We don't have a ton in our like personal lives over the next couple of months. So we should be able to donate a lot of time to developing the game. And we want to do some visibility rounds on Steam. We want to sort of make ourselves a little more visible, try to get some more people interested in the game, people who understand that, it's still an early access game, but it's going to start being a lot more live. So thanks again to you guys for supporting us. I know it was probably a long shot. There's a lot of these projects that people get on early access and sell a lot of copies and then they just abandon it. And I want you to know that every penny, literally almost, every penny that we got from this early alpha stuff has gone towards developing the game. We haven't squandered the money. We've used it to make the game better. And we are going to continue to do that. We really feel strongly about this project. Like I said, we're working for less than minimum wage just to try to keep it going. And we're willing to do that, as long as we can, in order to make this game something special. And there's a lot of games coming out right now that have a lot of different aspects to them. A lot of games about some made in the CryEngine. And we are very aware of where the modern gaming scene is going, and we want to include aspects of new games and games that you see coming out. We want to include aspects of those games in our game if it fits to make our game the best. And we want to keep working on it. We don't want to just release our game and have it be gone. And like I said, we're not going to do DLCs for money. Like if we did do a DLC, it would just be like a low-res texture pack or something like that, or a mod. But we really wouldn't want to charge that money for that unless, we had some ideas, like maybe if there was a modder who came out with a great mod and he wanted to, I don't know. We talked about a lot of different things. No promises there, just ideas we've kicked around. But we want to be able. The point is we want to be able to offer as many updates as we can for free, and just focus on selling copies of the game. And it's only $20. We don't, if anything, the price is going to go up. We don't want you guys to feel like you've been cheated by showing your faith in us by putting down $20 and then just have it go on sale for $2 the next day. You know, we want to, we want to make a good product that's worth the money that people pay for it. And if the worth goes up, then future people who haven't paid for it yet might have to pay a little more, but then it'll be worth it for them to buy it. So tell all your friends that now is the cheapest that it will be, at least for a while, until it's a lot later and we've stopped development. I don't know. Like I said, no promises. We just want to make sure that we take care of the people who've supported us, and we really are really thankful for you guys and grateful to you for your support in us. And I can't really express that sentiment enough, because you made it possible for us, and you gave us a chance that I think we really need, or the chance, and I think that's hopefully all that we need, because we'll be able to, like I said, get this update out, get some more visibility, and start attracting more people over the next couple of months. We hope that it gets a lot bigger in the next couple of months, and we can get some more people working with us. So anyway, you guys can stick around. I'll probably keep my eye on the chat for a little while longer. We'll be around, but if you guys have any more questions, just let us know, and I'm going to probably kill the stream. But like I said, thanks again, and hopefully we get this video up. So we appreciate it, you guys, and we will see you guys on the forums, and we'll always be in touch. See you later.